Every piece of technology you love, from the phone in your hand to the electric car in your driveway, relies on a handful of elements you have probably never heard of: neodymium, dysprosium, terbium. They are called rare earth elements and critical minerals. They aren't actually rare in the dirt, but they are incredibly rare to find in high enough concentration to mine. And right now, they are at the center of a global shadow war. In 2026, a critical mineral is defined by two things: how much we need it for the green transition and how likely we are to lose access to it. Neodymium. Without it, we don't have the permanent magnets that make electric vehicle motors and wind turbines efficient. The stability, dysprosium, it keeps those magnets from losing their power at high temperatures. Copper and lithium, we need 39 million tons of copper by the end of this year just to keep up with renewable energy infrastructure. If oils were the gold of the 20th century, these minerals are the digital oil of the 21st. Here is the problem: one country currently holds the master key. China still controls about 60 to 70% of global mine production and a staggering 85 to 90% of the refining capacity. In recent years, we have seen export controls on gallium and germanium. It's a geopolitical chess move, but the world is finally waking up. In early 2026, we have seen massive shifts. Just signed a landmark pact to co-develop reserve. India announced dedicated rare earth corridors in Odisha and Kerala, expanding the mountain pass and Mount Weld mines to create a supply chain that doesn't pass through Beijing. This is the great green paradox. To save the planet with clean energy, we have to dig holes in it. Extracting REEs involved leaching with toxic acids. For every ton of rare earth produced, you get tons of toxic waste and often radioactive thorium as a byproduct. Companies like Lynas and MP Materials are pioneering closed loop processing to recycle water and neutralize waste. We are running out of easy dirt. So, where do we go next? Urban mining. By 2046, we expect to recover $66 billion worth of minerals from old tech. Your old iPhone is literally a gold and neodymium mine. The deep sea, massive polymetallic nodules sit on the ocean floor. They contain more nickel and cobalt than all land-based reserves combined. But it's controversial. 38 countries have already called for a moratorium because we don't know what it does to the deep sea ecosystem. We are in the middle of a massive industrial pivot. The countries that win this century won't just be the one with the best software, they will be the one who can secure the hardware. So next time you see a zero emission sticker, remember that car was born in a mine, refined in a lab, and fought over in a boardroom. If you want me to see a deep dive into how deep sea mining actually works, let me know in the comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the Union Budget of 2026 to 27 announced February 1, 2026, India officially pivoted to become a global hub for magnet manufacturing. India is establishing dedicated rare earth corridors across four states: Odisha, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. Moving beyond just mining sand, these corridors focus on the entire value chain, specifically producing rare earth permanent magnets to break China's 90% monopoly. India holds roughly 13 million tons of monazite, but the challenge has always been the thorium radioactive byproduct. New 2026 policies have streamlined the processing of these prescribed substances. The US has shifted from market driven to security driven mineral policy in early 2026. On February 2, 2026, the US launched Project Vault, a $12 billion initiative to create a domestic strategic reserve for critical minerals. The Department of Defense is now taking equity stakes in domestic mining companies like MP Material. In February 2026, the US signed new critical mineral frameworks with 11 nations, including Uzbekistan, the UAE, and Peru, to create a supply chain that bypasses adversarial trade routes. January 2026 marked a massive regulatory explosion in the ocean mining space. On January 21, 2026, the NOAA USA finalized a rule that fast tracks deep sea mining by allowing companies to apply for exploration and commercial recovery permits simultaneously. The metals company filed its application just 24 hours later to mine 65,000 square kilometers of the Clarion Clipperton zone in the Pacific. Over 40 countries, including France and Germany, are still calling for a precautionary pause, setting up a major legal clash between the US and the International Seabed Authority for the rest of 2026. Technological breakthrough in late 2025, early 2026 have finally made urban mining profitable. The researchers have successfully scaled ionic liquid salt that can dissolve and separate rare earth metals from old magnets with 99.9% purity. Traditional recycling used harsh acids that were as dirty as mining. This green chemical process allows for a truly circular economy where the neodymium in your 2018 iPhone could end up in a 2027 Tesla motor.